You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Beecham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa de 18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
1, 2, are we on? Hey, everybody, how's it going this afternoon? Welcome to this special live Monday edition of Dad's Not Always on Wrestling. I am, of course, the Renegade JJ Williams. So it says right there. Joining me as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham. And yes, we've been advertising this episode was going to be this coming Friday for the better part of the last couple weeks. And then I had an epiphany last night. Technically earlier this morning, but when you don't sleep a whole lot, it kind of blends together. With the hurricane tropical storm weather that we were having here in SoCal, schools were closed today. So I called Jeff this morning. I was like, dude, rather than entering the studio this morning, filming this, editing this, uploading this to make it live on Friday, why don't we just do it live? I don't got to drop everything to rush and get the kids from school. You're home with your knucklehead kid.
Yes.
And then the Meech's Musings that you were going to air today at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern, can be Meech's Musings live on the road.
And it will, brother. It will.
And he was like, it's not a bad idea.
You might got something there, as Ricky Ricardo would say. So there you go.
I mean, every now and again, I have a little nugget of a gem that pops into my brain.
Every now and again, it does happen. But amongst the two of us in the shared brain, we apparently ask. It does work out. But the best part about that was I had the morning free. I want to do real quick here. I am officially clear to go back to work now.
Woohoo!
Sunday, I'll miss the biggest wrestling event in history, but by God, I'm making money. So,
yeah, the biggest wrestling event in history that, according to a panelist on the No DQ review last night, you would not want to put a match like CM Punk versus Kenny Omega on. But I digress, and we're not here to discuss that.
Oh no! Well, we will this week. Anyway,
we're trying to lighten the mood a little bit because our topic today is a somber one.
It is.
Earlier this year in February, we did the top 10 musicians we lost too soon because we were centered right around the day the music died when we did it. So we decided we were going to do and piggyback off that and do the top 10 actors and actresses that we lost too soon.
Excuse me. Goodness gracious.
And this was, I won't say it was a tough one.
No.
But it was definitely something that, at least I, being the one who was throwing the ball, been like, this is your deal, man. You handle it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joint list.
Yes.
So I had to try to put a little bit of pressure on myself. It was like, okay, what's my criteria here?
Yes.
First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that they were, by most people's standards, young when they passed. So I figured under 40.
Yes.
There is only one person on our list that exceeds that.
Yes.
And it's only because finding 5 women, because we wanted to be fair and split the genders, have 5 males, 5 females.
Yes.
Finding 5 women that we could seriously wax proxy on was already difficult.
Yeah, fair.
So one of the women that passed away too soon is passed away at 43. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
But that's the only one that passed that exception.
Yes.
And then I tried to find people that had promising careers ahead of them, not their best days were behind them. If that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Like the shirt I'm wearing my Saved by the Bell shirt.
Yes.
Dustin Diamond. Okay, number 1, he passed 40. Number 2, his best years were long behind him.
Yes.
So he wouldn't make the cut.
No.
But the people that we picked, or that I picked and Jeff agreed on.
Yeah.
we both feel had their best days still in front of them for the most part.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. It was the one you mentioned that exceeded the age limit. It was still. We'll talk more about it later, but it was just such a what the heck that even to this day we don't know what happened with that one. So,
really quickly, we do have Pop in the green room.
I see that.
Or excuse me, in the chat room saying, "Hey guys, must tell you that Saturday's open mic night was awesome."
I'll tell you what, Jerry. I said it on that night. I said it on the No DQ review the following night. I have never felt more appreciated at the dumbest shit in the history of the universe than I did Saturday night, because we raised nearly $500 singing. I mean, well, he and I maybe were off key because we suck, but even still, singing like idiots because of the British invasion that's going into Europe this weekend, which we'll talk about extensively later. Yes, I
definitely
was so appreciative, and it just reminded me that, and it was so funny, Jay. I woke up, I put the post up. I'm sure people have seen it at this point. You know, a year ago today, I forget what the context of the stream itself that I did was, but apparently I had a bad enough stream where people thought I was suicidal. And
vaguely remember that. Yes.
Yeah, it was that was the point where I went, okay, this interview this week has to go well, or I'm just gonna say F it. And it did. So 11 months this week with the cast. So, you know, there's something to that. And again, if nothing else, tomorrow when I see the kiddies, I'm gonna have them just sing Patience and record it, and then just play it on loop in my head. Lord knows we both need to exercise patience when it comes to this content nonsense.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, because I get hired by Disney, and then the content just picks up exponentially over this last year.
Yeah.
So
very cool. I definitely think that the two things are hand in hand.
Oh, very much so.
You know, I mean, and not to toot my own horn, but I feel like a lot of it started with me asking to take over open mic night.
No, I agree with that.
You putting the trust in me, style, which we'll get to Disney karaoke in November. You putting the trust in me to carry that, and then from there, the floodgates open. It was like, okay, look, I can't be here for the watch alongs. You're already doing open mic nights. Can you produce the watch along? Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
You know, the ones that I couldn't do. James produces how many hours of content for FTW Productions?
I mean,
James, would you mind stepping into the studio and doing it? Got you. He's producing Stat Boy Sports Bar tomorrow. So, you know, I think that was like the catalyst, is you getting that job, putting the trust in me with open mic night, and then the floodgates just open, man. And now we're arguably in the most profitable year ever of the Jeff Meacham Network.
Oh, by a lot. By a lot.
And as we discovered last night, discussing off the air, and I'm not going to throw figures out there, it's nobody's business.
No.
But considering I got monetized at the end of March and you were monetized all year, I'm only about $100 behind you in earnings for the year so far.
Which is wonderful.
So we're thriving, we're prospering, and a lot of it stemmed from that change in mentality, from getting the job, working for the Mauska Mafia.
Yes.
You know, cover Mickey's ears, but he knows it's true.
Yes. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got two sets of ears. How are you going to make that happen?
I didn't throw three.
Aren't you wearing a Mickey shirt? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I figure doing dads. I'll wear the dad joke shirt for the day. You know, it's gonna be a Disney week. I'm wearing Disney stuff all week except Friday because I'm wearing the Caitlin Bella shirt just because I can. It's gonna be funny. Anyway, I digress.
Buy that shirt.
Yes, yeah. Somebody buy that shirt besides Jay. I'm begging you. Somebody. Freaking hell. You know what? We're past 10. Fucking hell. Somebody buy that shirt, please. I'm begging you. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, it's it's a cool time to be a part of the multiverse.
It
you know,
is.
even though the topic at hand may not be the best topic to discuss, it is still a cool time to be part of all this. So
very, very, very often, one of our favorite content creators, you know, their celebrity co-host will ask you, "How you doing today?" And he'll often say, "Better than I deserve." There are days where it's like, "Yeah, I'm doing better than I deserve, man." But you know what? That's okay, because whether I feel it or not is not always a clear indicator, a proper indicator of how things are going. Because I get down on myself, and life is good, baby.
Yes. And speaking of getting down on yourself, again, we know this is going to be a bit of a somber topic, so we hope that this doesn't bring any of you viewers at home down.
Yes.
As we discuss these people
Yes.
who, like I said, all but one of them died under 40.
Yeah.
All of them still had tremendously promising careers in front of them.
Yep.
And the first one we're going to name off, our number 10, is one that honestly, a lot of people might even forget about this person.
Right?
Because to be fair, I had to do my digging to remember this person. And as soon as I saw the name, I was like, wasn't she?
Yeah. Right? Same with me.
Yes, I was right. And the young actress name is Michelle Thomas.
Yes.
Best known for being Myra, Steve Urkel's girlfriend on Family Matters.
Yes. When Steve could not get the love he wanted of his life, Laura Winslow, to even cast him an eye, Myra was a little obsessed. Just a bitch with Steve. So, but yeah, it's unfortunately, you know, she got sick, right? Is that what happened to Michelle? Forgive me.
I believe so. I didn't look into all of their causes of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was diagnosed with a rare cancer in August of '97, and she passed away a little over a year later.
That's right.
30 years old.
30. That was.
She had only done 3 movies. One of them came out posthumously.
Oof.
And then prior to Family Matters, she was on The Cosby Show for a few episodes.
Yes, that's right.
And then post Family Matters, she was actually on Young and the Restless for a little while, playing Callie Rogers.
Holy shit, that's right. Wow. I forgot she was on YNR. Wow.
See, and that's one of your stories.
Don't fault me, grandmother. My bad. There's a lot of people on that show. Give me there's a lot of damn people on that cast.
That's fair. That's fair.
Rotating soap cast.
Yeah, she did 38 episodes in 1998, the year that she passed away.
Okay, well, to be fair, 1998, I was sorry in advance of this one, a sophomore and a junior in high school. So, you know, that's a long time ago, pre most of the concussions.
There you go.
But yeah, she was
she, like I said, she had only done 3 movies. One of them came out posthumously.
Yes.
So she, 30 years old, very easily could have spun off of Y&R after having a successful career on there, done some more movies. You got to think about the scary movies and stuff that came out in the early 2000s with like the Wayans.
Oh yeah, she'd have been perfect.
You know, and I'm not trying to typecast by just spitting out black movies here. Please don't come at me, people. But the Medea Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah, she
probably could have ended up getting cast in some of those and extending her spotlight.
No, I agree. She definitely
was a lovely actress.
She did, and she had that self-depreciation ability that would have fit into every single one of those movies you just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to be able to make fun of yourself to get through Scary Movie or the Medea movies. Like you have to be able to rag on yourself, or you're lost. That's it. Yeah. So, and she had that ability. I mean, God, the length she went to as Myra on Family Matters was just so good. And even though we all wanted the ending that we got, Steve and Laura finally together at the end of the series. Spoiler alert, no shit, it's been 20 years, get over it. You felt for Myra. when Laura finally clicked it in her own head, you felt bad for Myra. You really did. Because all she wanted was Steve to love her as much as he loved Laura. Right? Hell, went to Disney World, if you want to tie it into work, to stop stop Stefan Urkel from marrying Laura, because she knew that devious Laura had broken the transformation chamber. She knew there was something up. So smart girl, that Myra. Anyway.
Yes. Number 9 is another one who, much like all of these people, just tragic stories. So we're not going to beat that to death, but
no.
And again, he's kind of where he is because unless you are from Jeff and I's generation, I don't think that many people remember him because he was such a bright star on the rise.
Yes.
And our number 9 is Jonathan Brandis. Jonathan Brandis is best known for having been young Bill Denborough in It.
Yes.
He was in Neverending Story 2, picking up the role of Bastian.
Yes.
He was in Sidekicks, which is like one of the most 90s movies you could ever be in.
Yes.
Freaking Christian Slater. You had Beau Bridges. You had Danica McKellar.
Yes.
You had Chuck Norris.
Yes.
And then, of course, his main TV role was Sequest DSV.
By the way, I apologize to the fans, Jonathan Brandis. I didn't realize how bad that graphic looked till it went up there on screen, man. I did a horrible edit job. I apologize. That looks like absolute dog shit. Sorry. It's a horrible PNG. I apologize. Oof.
I mean,
but anyway,
another one. He passed away at 27 years old.
27. I remember this one. I remember.
He committed suicide, hung himself in the hallway of his apartment.
Yeah. It's
no note.
Nope. But, you got to remember, after Sequest, he did like a couple of TV movies. And he had a pilot that was not picked up by any of the networks. And the last film he did was released posthumously just because, he was already gone. And I remember this one, and I remember it more long after, because it wasn't too long after he passed that I started dating Dylan's mother, and she was a major Brandis fan. And
I was too, I mean, he's the reason I watched Sequest DSV.
Oh yeah. Sequest was great. I love Sequest.
I never got into Star Trek. We all know that. My dad was a sailor on submarines.
Yeah.
So here's this new TV show coming, DSV, Deep Submergence Vehicle.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah.
And you've got Jonathan Brandis, who I'd already had seen in It. Like I said, he was young Bill.
Yep.
Totally stole the movie in the kids section. I swear to God, between Seth Green and Jonathan Brandis, they made it hard for the adults.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and the second half of It is still the one I have the biggest issue with. Both versions.
Absolutely.
Even the remake isn't, clear of it. Because I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
It becomes way too melodramatic-y. And it's just like, dude, no.
Yeah. This is supposed to be a horror thriller. This is like way more, no.
And I think that Jonathan Brandis is part of the main reason why I couldn't buy it. Even though the adult actors, Harry Anderson, John Ritter, there's some big names there.
Yeah, exactly.
These relative unknown kids just ate up every scene they were in, and you just didn't buy it once they grew up.
No. Nope.
And then, like I say, you parlay that into Neverending Story. I loved Neverending Story as a kid. So when I found out they made a sequel 6-7 years later and Jonathan Brandis was taking over, I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Sidekicks, again, like I said, you got him, you've got Danica McKellar, you've got Chuck Norris, who apparently, if you look on IMDb, Chuck Norris is the Force in Star Wars.
Chuck Norris was such a force of nature that the Nazis surrendered because he was born.
Right?
That shit happened, people. Look it up. People are going, what the hell we stumble onto on this Monday? What's going on?
Right.
Freaking task
For real.
But no, I remember I watched. People forget Sequest only went 3 seasons.
I know.
But it was so good. I think Sequest's thing was it was in an oversaturated market.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of sci-fi at that time. Star Trek Next Generation was in its last season when Sequest debuted. DS9 was finally starting to pick up steam as a spinoff of TNG, and then you had like all the other sci-fi remakes that were, like I think Battlestar Galactica was not too long after that, like the TV series. Like it just kind of got lost in the shuffle, even with Roy Schneider and Jonathan Brandis on it. It was just kind of like there's a lot of shit going on television. And then of course, Baywatch was kicking everybody's ass in syndication. Nothing we could do about that. Everybody was getting their ass whooped by them. So
right.
Just too much going on. And I think that if it had been such an oversaturated market, it would have lasted longer. And I don't think Jonathan would have gotten near as despondent about his career.
Yeah.
So, this next one really sucks, especially this month.
I was going to say the next one really kind of got thrown on here because of what this month is.
Yeah.
For Power Ranger fans out here, this month is Power Month. I will be doing my own little version of Power Week next week, beginning 1 week from today, when I will be reviewing Day of the Dumpster, the very first episode of Power Rangers, which premiered on August 28th, 1993. So it will be the 30th anniversary of the airing of that episode.
And you figure it's...
But of course, we're talking about
Twee
Train, who played Trini in the series.
Oh, just, again, another...
Yeah, 27 years old when she passed.
Oh.
Passed away, I want to say it was a car accident.
Yes.
Yeah, on the 5 freeway between San Jose and LA, of all places.
Yeah, well, But again, it's didn't they write that into the Trini's demise in the reunion movie? Is that how she passed in that too?
I don't think they said how she died in it.
Oh, okay.
They just, or no, wait. I think it was Rita or something killed her.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They really wanted to go hard on the Rita. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, they did a thing in the beginning of the show where she was killed during a battle, and that's right.
That's right.
Everything happened in that.
That's right. But yeah, this one, and again, her time on Rangers was long over by then.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all of her credits. She did 80 episodes of Power Rangers. She was the voice of Trini in the video game.
Yep.
She was in the Alpha's Magical Christmas, which was like a direct to VHS special.
Oh my God, I remember that.
She did a couple of like direct to video things. There's a Walter Jones hip hop dance video and an Austin St. John martial arts video that she was in.
Oh, that's right, because they both did their
Then, aside from that, she had a role in Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen. She had a role in The Crow City of Angels, which is another tragic story in of itself, but we're not going to get there.
No.
And, that's like the end of her career.
Wow.
27 years old.
That's crazy. Oh. Yeah, and what's funny is that you're doing Day of the Dumpster on a Monday. If I remember right, the show premiered on a Monday, so it's 30 years to the day. That is awesome that you guys get to, and I say you guys meaning you and Dotella, because you guys are both the Ranger folks. I love Power Rangers as a kid. Watching it when it premiered, in 1993.
Yeah.
I watched it.
You see, and I didn't at first,
right?
Because I'm of the age that I remember when Power Rangers was called Voltron.
yes, that's
in
true.
Animated form.
That's fair. I remember. Oh yeah, I remember Voltron.
And So at first, when I started seeing this Power Ranger stuff, I was like, man, this wannabe live action Voltron crap. What is this?
Right.
And then about 17 episodes in came Green with Evil episode 1.
And, yeah, right. Yeah.
And I was hooked because of that 5-episode arc.
Yes. Yes.
If it hadn't been for Green with Evil and it just kind of kept going the way it did the previous 16 episodes,
yeah,
I to this day do not believe Power Rangers would be where it is.
I'll agree with that.
It was the Green with Evil arc
Yeah.
that just shot it Cameron Grimes style to the moon.
No, that's that's where Rita was, so it makes sense. But yeah,
and our good buddy Datilla posted on social media yesterday when she felt the earthquake, she thought it was Rita being unearthed.
Hey, it's almost that time. There you go.
Right?
There you go. That was the weirdest thing about yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, I sat down and get ready to jump on the emergence. Wow, I jumped ahead of the game there. The Multiverse United stream with you guys, and the chair just kept moving. It's like, all right, we're rocking and rolling. Cool. It was like my own little mini Disney coaster. So there you go. Yeah, but how do you say your name? I apologize. I don't want to butcher her first name.
I believe I'm pronouncing it right. It's Twee Train.
Yeah, Twee. I remember hearing the news that she had passed because, like I said, it was just so like, what? And that was a couple of weeks of what the heck, if you figure September 2001.
Yeah.
So,
the interesting thing that I've discovered, and I only bring this up because I've actually gone to like Hollywood Forever to see some of the celebrity graves.
Yep.
She's buried in Rose Hills right here, like where the 60 and the 605 meet.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like, so I've thought about going there.
Yeah.
Paying my respects, but haven't done it yet.
No. Hollywood Forever is definitely and again, this is going to sound far more morbid than I intended to. If you are out here as a resident or a tourist, you got to hit that spot at least once, because there are a lot of people that I know are there, and a lot of people I didn't know were there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely
to be
interesting.
Sure.
Yeah. You definitely get a feeling of like surrealism and just like the reality of, celebrities are people too.
No. All right. The next one is probably one of the most famous ones to occur during our youth.
Oh my goodness,
because
right?
Because it was all over the news when River Phoenix died outside of the Viper Room in Hollywood, California.
Yep.
At 23 years old.
23.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a drug overdose. But yeah, 23 years of age. And just insane. Granted, he had a pretty good career up until that point, to where, if the body of work that he left us is what he left us, then solid work.
Yes, definitely.
But still, at 23 years old, you figure the last thing that he did, I've got the tab up here, so give me a second here, but he had done like My Own Private Idaho in 91 with Keanu. Then he had done a film called Sneakers with an all-star cast. I mean, we're talking Ben Kingsley, Dan Aykroyd, Sidney Poitier. Then he was in The Thing Called Love with Samantha Mathis and Sandra Bullock.
Samantha, who was his girlfriend at the time. Yeah.
And then the next two things were like posthumous releases.
Yeah.
So doing movies with Aykroyd, Poitier, Keanu, and Sandra. And you think about, especially where Keanu and Sandra's careers went after those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the same trajectory could have been River Phoenix's.
Yeah. Now, granted, when River passed, I was 10. So I wouldn't have been at the Viper Room. But yeah, Oh yeah, 23, dude. It's crazy. But
Keen Mike, if you just joined us, everybody we are talking about today, with the exception of one who we haven't got there yet, died under the age of 40.
yeah, so far it's been 30 and under.
Yeah.
Which is even, yeah.
And they're only where they are because of where their legacies kind of left them. You know, they kind of didn't get a chance to really get out those gates. I mean, River Phoenix's first movie is a long time favorite of mine and my family's, Explorers.
Yeah.
You know, he's in it. Ethan Hawke is in it. It was my first introduction to Mr. Robert Picardo.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes.
He played multiple roles in it.
Yes.
You know, it was huge. You know, these kids building a spaceship and getting to meet aliens.
Yeah. Oh, it was a hell of a movie. Great movie. And, you know, get where I was, you know, it's that whole street, Sunset, man, you know, figure John Belushi.
Yep.
You know, a decade or a little bit more before, you know, what happened with him and, you know, how it affected everybody, particularly Rob Williams. But a lot of, and, you know, God, Rivers, they still talk about River at the Viper Room. I mean, from what I hear, they're going to shut that place down, which is tragic in and of itself. Yeah. But every once in a while, he'll come up at the Viper Room because I'm there so damn much with the kiddies now. Every once in a while, it'll still come up because it's such a what the hell moment. I mean, if you go by the stories, it just, you know, he went to a member of his party and said, I think I overdosed. Let's bounce. And, you know, he was talked out of it. I'm good now. I'm fine. And then, you know, freaking Chili Peppers were on stage doing their thing. Or not Chili Peppers. Give me a second here. The band named Pete. Johnny Depp's band at the time. And
no idea.
Yeah. And there was a commotion heard outside. Samantha found him on the sidewalk in convulsions. It was bad.
Yeah, a lot of people forget he played young Indy in Indiana the Jones and the Last Crusade during the opening flashback scenes.
He did. There was talk.
Stand By Me with Will Wheaton, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell.
Yep.
The Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford. Again, just greats that he was aligned with. And then, bam.
He definitely falls in the category of such potential ahead and just couldn't. And again, he's 23. He's a rock star. He's a movie star. He's in Hollywood. You know, no, just pardon my French here, but not giving a fuck, man. Just living life and partying, man. And just caught up with him way too quick. It's very unfortunate because the guy is talented as hell.
Yeah. Another unfortunate circumstance, you know, and again, this kind of falls into the what really happened category.
Oh yeah.
Here we go with our one that is over 40.
Yeah.
Natalie Wood.
Oh my goodness.
Passed away at 43 years of age near Catalina Island, drowning in the Pacific Ocean.
Yep.
Was out on a boat with her husband, Robert Wagner, and Christopher Walken. And yeah, kind of always that question in the air as to what really happened.
We still don't know now.
Yeah.
And how long ago was this for Natalie? Long enough where
81.
Yeah. So you was a young pup. I was a non-existent pup.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what happened to her to this day. That's crazy.
No. And again, this is one of the ones where she had a long career at this point.
Very much so.
Were her best days behind her? Probably so, considering that her last movie came out in 83, 2 years after she passed away.
Yes.
But she had been active her entire life from her first role. And of course, she's best known for being young Susan Walker in Miracle on 34th Street.
Absolutely.
Or she's known for being Debbie in The Searchers with John Wayne.
Yep.
Judy in Rebel Without a Cause, and we'll get to Rebel Without a Cause again later.
Oh, yes.
Maria in West Side Story. The Great Race, which I'm going to be reviewing this month. She plays Maggie Dubois in that. You know, she had an extensive career, but she was still very much active.
Yeah.
Her best days were definitely probably in the past.
Yeah.
But she still was churning out movies that mattered. I won't say blockbusters because I don't really have figures in front of me.
Yeah.
But she was turning out movies that mattered, movies that were getting the public's attention, because she was one of those child actors who you didn't really hear a lot of bad things about.
No, not at all.
You know, traditionally you hear the tragic child actor story, you know, and a lot of them we've discussed, you know, River Phoenix overdosing outside the Viper Room.
Yep.
You know, Jonathan Brandis hanging himself. You hear about these child actors that get into drugs, alcohol, suicide.
Yep.
Here is one that actually had made good. 43 years old. She was still living her best life.
Yep. Yep.
And then that accident happened.
Yeah. And, you know, you mentioned her best days are behind her. It's like, it's hard to come down from your first movie being with Orson freaking Welles at that point. Orson Welles was Orson Welles. And then, you know, the next movie she's credited for is being the child that doesn't believe in Santa Claus, man. Like that's, and for better or for worse, that movie, and you and I have talked about this, is the definitive Santa Claus movie.
Yeah.
And
Ryan, go ahead.
She's the fly in the ointment.
Yeah.
So hard to stay up from Orson Welles and opposite Santa Claus. That's a tough plateau to stay on, you know.
But she managed to do it. I mean, she segued into movies, like I said, with John Wayne.
Yeah.
With, you know, she did Rebel Without a Cause, which again we'll get into later. West Side Story,
which was so good.
She managed to work it.
As great as the original, for lack of a better term, Romeo and Juliet was, with, you mentioned it earlier, Olivia Hussey, you know, West Side Story and that version of that story is still my favorite version of that story. I absolutely love West Side. I know you're not a musical person, but West Side Story is just amazing. And yeah,
I've never seen West Side Story, but it has always held a special place in my heart, because when I pledged Junior Exchange, JX, back in college, they had taken the Jets song and turned it into their fraternity song.
Nice.
You know, instead of when you're a Jet all the way, it's when you're JX all the way.
I dig that. That's very cool.
You know, so even though I still haven't seen the movie, like, that's always going to hold a special place in my heart, because that song became their song.
And then, of course, there's the wonderful WWE video shoot they did for the Royal Rumble that was filmed at TNA's area.
Ryan, I don't remember how old Brandon Lee was. I want to say he was probably in his late 20s, early 30s.
He was a baby.
Don't quote me on that. Brandon Lee is not on our list, mainly because he didn't have an impact on us the way these other people did.
Yes.
You know, you definitely want to talk about somebody who didn't get off the ground. Brandon Lee's name definitely comes up, but in the fact that he didn't really get off the ground, there's no real connection to him, like there is with some of these other people that we're discussing. And Judy Garland was past 40. I want to say she was into her 50s when she died. Yes, tragically.
Yes.
But she wasn't somebody that we lost too soon. Kind of like Natalie here. She had a full career, and you could argue her best days were behind her.
Well, I think that's what he was referring to, because we were talking about the child actors that, you know, just went sideways. Judy's post-child career definitely went.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, she just got lost and literally got lost in the sauce, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
this next one is going to be a fun one to kind of discuss, because honestly, I'm not the hugest martial arts movie fan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you can't have this list and not bring up Bruce Lee.
Yeah, there you go. Talk about Brandon Lee. There you go. Here's Bruce.
You know, I mean, passed away at only 32 years old.
Yeah.
And while, yes, he had a ton of movies, most of them in Hong Kong, you got to figure a good chunk of the movies that he is best known for came out after his passing.
Yep.
Regardless of the fact that they may have been filmed before or after. But I mean, freaking Enter the Dragon came out after he had passed.
Yeah.
What he is probably best known as while he was alive is being Kato in The Green Hornet.
Hell yeah, baby.
And his subsequent appearance on the Batman TV series as Kato.
Yes.
But a good chunk of the martial arts movies that we know and love and we think of as far as Bruce Lee was after he passed. Enter the Dragon, Game of Death, Circle of Iron, There were a few that were prior, but none of them really made the they didn't make the needle move until he passed.
No, I agree. You figure he collapsed doing audio redos for Enter the Dragon when he passed, and it's there was so much content that had been recorded for not Enter the Dragon but everything else that came out afterwards, and it was too good not to have keep going, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, again, 32 years old.
32, yeah. And the collapse during the Enter the Dragon thing was in May. It was he still went on for 2 more months, even though the diagnosis of what was going on was already in place. It's just, that's crazy. Yeah. It's fluid, and and again, not to get too medical, but accumulation of fluid and the part of the brain that it was for him, that had to, and you figure he was complaining of headaches for a while. That had to be just ungodly to have to try to live with for as long as it did. That's crazy.
Definitely.
So definitely one that was just far too soon, and medical technology being what it is now compared to 1973.
Mm-hmm. And then again, you think about the way that the martial arts film kind of boomed in his passing.
Yep.
Could we have gotten a Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan something? Bruce Lee and Jet Li?
Right.
Something with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris?
There you go.
Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, how cool would it have been if the villain in Bloodsport had been Bruce Lee?
Right. Oh, good stuff. That would have been, yeah.
Just so much to think about.
There's so much that's on the table there that, man, if you just set that table at the right time, whew. And Ryan?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Patience,
young
brass.
Of Guns N' Roses, use a little patience.
Again, yes, I swear, I'm going to record her singing it while we're having drinks at Carthay. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to tell her. I'm just going to do it. Just like I have it on hand at all times. Because damn, ain't the truth.
Number 4 was a passing so tragic that Elton John and Bernie Taupin wrote a song about it.
Right.
Of course, Marilyn Monroe.
Goodbye, Norman. Oh, man.
36 years old when she passed.
Still mysterious to this day about really what went down, unfortunately. Yeah. There was so much we did not know about Norma Jean Baker, Marilyn Monroe, that, and a lot of it were the worst kept secrets in the world, if we're being honest. Her affair with Kennedy and, just everything around her life was everything about her life was in the spotlight. And that's just, she was one of those that, yes, she was an actress, she was a performer, but she, I think, really was, and I'm not trying to lump her in with these other yahoos, she was most famous just for being famous. Marilyn Monroe, it's like, ooh, Marilyn, you see that face, you see that hair, you recognize who that is. And I think that was really the start of that trend, was with Marilyn.
Yeah. And when I was looking up the people for this show and doing my due diligence, names like Jane Mansfield popped up, and
Yeah, of course.
so some others that fit that mold, if you will. But when I thought about it, it was like, who shattered that mold? Marilyn. Some of the others may have been before her, but Marilyn just kicked the door off the hinges.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you said it perfectly. There were people that started that trend. She, to reference two of our favorite people in wrestling, she set that bar and raised it infinitely. She really did. And she had that look about her, but again, Hollywood in the 60s, in the 70s, man, it was just everything in excess. Everything was a party. Everything was about the newest way to get your kicks.
Yeah. And it's funny when you think about, and I'm not trying to discuss in terms of like exploitation. So again, fans at home, let's not come at me here. But
right,
when you think about what society said the traditional woman needed to look like, Marilyn was not that woman.
no,
She was not a stick. She was not 70 pounds soaking wet with cement shoes on.
right.
She had curves. She was thick. She had a little bit of meat on her bones. She had stretch marks.
Yeah.
She wasn't this petite size 1 model that you see walking the Victoria's Secret's catwalks or at Fashion Week or anything. And the standard of a woman has changed here in the last 15 years or so, maybe even 20. You can maybe go back to like J-Lo and around that general time frame. Salma Hayek.
Yep.
Curvaceous, full-figured women have started to become a thing again, and you don't have to be this twig stick.
Yes.
But like Marilyn was looked at and is still looked at as a goddess.
Yeah. Like
with her figure.
Like at Universal to this day, they are the only theme park that I know of, as far as like that has like the budget like we do or whatever, that has characters walking around the park that were real people.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball. Granted, the Lucille Ball character is very much I Love Lucy, Lucy Ricardo.
Right.
But Marilyn Monroe is just walking around Universal.
Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx, yeah. It's
the Blues Brothers.
Yeah. But yeah. But again, the point I was like, even Groucho and the Blues Brothers were still very much characters of the people. Marilyn, yes, Marilyn's walking around in that white dress that famously over the grate, but it's still the closest to a real person compared to the other ones we mentioned, and it boggles my mind. And it's silly. I know it's not Marilyn Monroe. I know Marilyn's been gone for 60 years, but you walk down those little stairs there to go on that studio tour, and she's sitting there for photo ops, and it's like you melt because it's Marilyn Monroe. That's how awesome she was. And you mentioned Elton and Candle in the Wind, which was only redone once because of Princess Diana's passing, which is pretty. It's a pretty big statement that it was about Marilyn and that it took Princess Diana to get a rewrite.
That's fair. Ryan with a good question. Do we think that's what Toni Storm's new gimmick is based on?
Absolutely.
I can definitely see it a little bit, especially in the hair.
Yeah.
Datilla popped in, number 8.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Oh, it's rough. It's rough, kid. I hear you. I'll get to Mikey's question at the end because okay.
I was gonna say it kind of has happened sporadically, Mikey, because if you go to like the Dapper days where people get dressed up, and like the girls wear the pinup type of dresses and the guys go in the suits and whatnot, there have been people that have come to the parks and at Halloween time dressed like Walt.
Yeah.
For those events. And while granted, it's not somebody that Disney employs to walk around and do it.
No.
In the same vein that Universal employs someone to walk around and do it, it does occasionally happen.
Yeah, there was
Personally, I think Disney should once a year on the anniversary have Tom Hanks come out dressed as Walt and just kind of mill around Main Street for a couple hours as Walt.
Yeah.
And then excuse himself with a little wave, go up to the apartment, and he can take off from there.
I forget, it was recently enough, but I'm pretty sure it was before pandemic. There was a gentleman, and I'll look up his name later. We'll talk more about it later. But a gentleman came in. I mean, he could have fooled Walt's family. And he walked into town square, and he was in front of either the Opera House or right next door where it used to be the bank. Now it's one of the 5,000 stores, because that's what we do. And Mickey turned and saw this guy, and Mickey himself did a double take and just hugged this guy. It was the damnedest thing. And it's like when you're walking along, and again, ruining the magic again. Here I go again. When you're in that suit and you're Mickey Mouse, you're not expecting to turn around and seeing the boss. It's holy shit. It did. It completely struck Mickey dumb of how accurate this guy looked and how authentic it was. And it's out there on YouTube and shorts, whatever, but it was just so cool. And I wish he would do it more often, because I would love to just run into him and just go, you know what? I'm going to throw my jacket on. Let's just do this real quick, because I'm never going to get away with this again.
I wonder if park security said something to him.
Well, it wasn't so much park security, because they've the company's kind of put it out there. They've been promoting themselves.
The fact that you haven't seen it happen again since that,
well,
almost makes you wonder if park security didn't say something to them.
I mean, maybe, but the fact that the fact that the company promoted it, was all over it, and and again, it happened before pandemic, so I'm sure they're not trying to encourage, because God, if he was there a regular, the crowd control would be
exactly
out of control again. Exactly. So maybe. But anyway,
all right, reeling things back in. Let's get back to the list here.
Yes.
And number 3 is somebody that was brought up in the comments.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead. We're going to tackle number 3 again. Honestly, the reason why number 3 is where he is because out of the males, he was the most recent passing.
Yep.
That I felt had the brightest future.
Absolutely.
And of course, we're talking about Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
28 years old, passed away. It was sad.
It affected and continues to affect to this day.
Yeah. He abused prescribed medications.
Yeah.
Yep. It was an accidental overdose.
Yep.
But a lot of people have questioned, did his portrayal of the Joker get deep enough in his head where there was no coming back from it?
Yeah. Yeah. Having seen his previous work before, you could not have told me, had I not known it was him going in, that was Heath Ledger.
No.
He went in so deep and immersed himself so much into that character that, we're seeing, images or whatever as the movie's being recorded or whatever, and hadn't really heard the casting yet full on. When I found out it was Heath Ledger, I went, what?
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard his voice yet.
The same kid who was singing Can't Take My Eyes Off You to Julia Stiles dancing on the bleachers and 10 Things I Hate About You.
Right.
The same dude who played Mel Gibson's son in The Patriot.
Which, yeah.
The Joker. And some people, like King Mike, claim that best Joker ever. And that's a hard one for me.
Yes,
King
both
Mike,
of us.
because me and Jeff have had this debate numerous times. And Keen Mike, I'm going to throw this out here to you. Do you, in your heart of hearts, honestly believe that he would have taken home that Oscar for Best Supporting Actor had he not died? Or was it essentially a, you died, here's the award, you're never going to be able to win another one? I want an honest opinion. Don't answer me right away. I want you to think about it. Rack it around in your head a little bit, because it's something I have debated about and hemmed and hawed about for years. And granted, I haven't seen the other 4 movies that were nominated up against him, but I still wonder if he would have taken it. And if you're going off of accolades, Joaquin Phoenix got Best Actor at the Oscars for his Joker portrayal.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger only got Supporting Actor. So he got the runner-up prize.
Got the wrong year.
Joaquin Phoenix got the prize.
But again, the Joker was the lead character of that movie, to be
understood. But I'm just saying, like, there's some debate to be had there. Personally, and I know that he technically was not the Joker, but I have felt that Cameron Monaghan's on Gotham was the best. The Jerome Velasca version. Not the Jeremiah that came in the last season, but Jerome.
Yes. Because
he took little bits and pieces from all the previous Jokers, and kind of threw them together to, in my opinion, make the best Joker. And every Joker has been something different. Cesar Romero in the TV series was the Clown Prince. Jack Nicholson in the 89 movie was the gangster. Heath Ledger's was the anarchist. Blanking on the guy's name for Suicide Squad now. Jared Leto.
Leto, yeah.
Was the psychotic Joker.
Yes.
Mark Hamill is best known for his laugh and the Joker voice.
Yeah,
above anything else.
Yeah.
And I feel like Cameron Monaghan kind of took all of those, with the exception of maybe Jared Leto's, and just threw them into a blender and said, this is what the Joker is going to be.
Yeah, I will always maintain that Mark Hamill is my favorite Joker. And I only say that because, yes, primarily his Joker was, at least at first, based on the Burton-verse, because that's how the animated series started, was because of the success of the Burton movies. But he's played the Joker in quote-unquote so many different universes and done so well with that. I'm getting to that, King Mike, so thank you for asking that question. Josh Brolin was nominated as Dan White in Milk. Robert Downey Jr. was nominated as Kirk Lazarus. What a freaking name. In Tropic Thunder.
Okay, I have seen that.
Philip Seymour Hoffman was nominated as Father Brendan Flynn in Doubt. And Michael Shannon was as John Givens Jr. in Revolutionary Road.
Okay, so the only other movie I've seen is Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
I don't think RDJ would have gotten it for that, even though his portrayal of that character was just phenomenal. Because that's, if you forget, that's the movie where Robert Downey Jr. is basically playing a black dude for the whole movie.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, couldn't get away with that shit now.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It's a Ben Stiller movie for one.
But yeah,
and it's hilarious. But
yes,
you think about Brolin, you think about Philip Seymour Hoffman. Those are some two strong actors.
Yes.
That, granted, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Right.
But you think about just their filmographies alone.
Right.
And it would be hard to put Heath up against them, knowing the bodies of their work.
No.
Michael
then,
Shannon, I dismiss kind of immediately. No disrespect to the dude, but his General Zod was what it was. And he was freaking Greg Buell, the dude that was screwing Kim Basinger in 8 Mile. Like, those are the things I know him best for.
I know.
I mean, he could definitely have given an Oscar-worthy performance in that movie, but again, if I'm judging by the body of work that I know him for, I'm more inclined to dismiss that one.
That's fair.
And I would be willing to dismiss Robert too. As great as some of his roles are, as great as he was in Iron Man, same year, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to dismiss Robert Downey Jr., but that still, like I said, leaves Brolin and Seymour Hoffman. So that's a tough one. Pop still says his portrayal deserved it. And Keen Mike to his says that's hard, to be honest, but he would still give it to him despite the fact that he hasn't seen some of those movies, so his take isn't the best. And I respect that. I respect
same with
the fact
yours.
that you're willing to, I respect the fact that you're willing to acknowledge that. You know, you actually, when I called you on it, you sat there for a moment like I asked, you thought about it.
Yep.
You didn't know what movies were there, to be honest. And then upon hearing it, you were willing to say that, you know, you haven't seen some of them. Taste isn't the best. So, but you might still give it to Heath personally.
I think
can
we need
respect that opinion.
I think we need to figure out when the anniversary of the Joker's debut was, or the anniversary of, you know, some anniversary, and just watch these damn movies and decide right there. Like, all right, here's what it is.
Well, first you've got to get through Gotham, which you still haven't done, but I digress.
No. Hold on a second there, Skippy. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, and get off my ass about Gotham.
I will not.
I just now got the Max access back.
You've been gonna watch it for like the last 5 years, bro.
I just now got the Max access back from Big G. So you and it's a busy ass week. Y'all saw my post this morning. Number one. Number two, I'm talking about watching the movies and comparing his performance as the Joker to the other ones and selling your debate of would he have won had he not died.
Okay.
That's what I want to settle. The Gotham thing, dude, I've seen enough of Cameron's performance where I go, you know what? I'm going to watch anyway. I'm not going to be that asshole. But I've seen enough of it to go, I can definitely see where your argument has validity. I will not take anything away from that argument because Cameron just made that role his own and couldn't even use the word joke. How good it was.
Yeah.
And I will always have a special place in my heart for both Caesar and for Jack because that's what I grew up watching in reruns and on the movie respectively. But I will die on the hill of Mark Hamill being the best one. And I will very likely still stand by that after I watch Gotham because Mark was just so good for so long as the Joker. So anyway, we went way.
I figured we would when it came to that one.
Yes.
So it is what it is.
Yes.
Number 2 is the female equivalent for me as far as Heath Ledger goes.
Oh, right. Oh,
and kind of, I was going to say, kind of piggybacking on my 8 Mile comment, it's Brittany Murphy.
This one is just the worst. Oh,
32 years old, died of pneumonia.
Right. Like, how does that happen?
And again, I mean, she had a pretty awesome filmography. So you could pose the question, were her best days behind her, or was she still going to be making an impact in Hollywood? But at 32 years old, you'll never know.
Yeah.
You know, Clueless, of course, is how she became big to everybody as Ty.
Yes.
You know, she was in Girl Interrupted with Angelina Jolie and Winona Ryder. She was in Freeway the year after Clueless with Reese Witherspoon and Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
She was in Summer Catch in the early 2000s with Jessica Biel and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard.
Yep.
You know, she was in Riding in Cars with Boys with Drew Barrymore. 8 Mile, of course. She was in one of my favorite chick flicks, Little Black Book, with
Yes.
Holly Hunter and Kathy Bates.
Yes, that was a good one.
You know, she did Uptown Girls with Dakota Fanning and Heather Locklear.
I remember that one. Sin City, of course.
Just Married with Ashton Kutcher.
Yep.
Yeah, she was in Sin City.
Yep.
You know, and then as far as television goes, episodes of Murphy Brown, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. She was on Kids Incorporated, Blossom, Frasier, Sister Sister, 2 episodes of Boy Meets World, an episode of Sequest DSV. She was Luann on King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, that's right. People forget she's in Boy Meets World because like Trini was only on there like Trini. She was literally Topanga's best friend in the world the first 2 episodes of junior high year, and then she disappeared.
So she was Chuck Cunningham. Got it.
Right? Because they never mentioned. They even brought Minkus back in the finale of that damn show, or the finale of the high school years of that show, and they still couldn't even like reference her like that. That was messed up. She was a means to an end to make sure Corey and Topanga started that season together. That was some bullshit.
But anyway. I mean, you know,
and again, pneumonia was, pneumonia was the primary cause, but you know, anemia, which you know, lack of low blood, you know, which you know, again, you know, and there was also drug intoxication involved there. So, you know, but still.
But the credited cause of death was pneumonia.
Yeah. If your primary cause of death in 2000 and whatever it was, 2009 is pneumonia, your medical situation's gone sideways. Pneumonia should not be a cause of death. Like, it's messed up. I've had pneumonia. It is not a happy situation.
And think about the quote from like her final interview. She was like, as far as having a New Year's resolution, I'd love to have a child next year. And then she died 17 days later.
Yeah. 11 days before the new year. 12. Yeah, but still.
So she didn't even get that opportunity. So again, going back to my point, were her best days behind her? You know, was she going to try to start a family and maybe get away from the Hollywood system and focus on whether it's a little son or daughter that she was hoping to have within the next year?
Yep. I think maybe her career maybe not had maxed out, but it had kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
And I think she recognized that.
Yeah, because, I mean, arguably, a lot of the chick flick movies that came out post 8 Mile were subpar at best.
Agreed. I'll agree with that.
I didn't see them all. So again, I can't give the best take.
Right.
But as much as I love Little Black Book, it didn't move numbers in the box office.
No.
Same with Just Married.
Yeah.
So the star as far as marketability and box office draw may have been fading away.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say that if she hadn't had that child, taken 5 years away, and then come back in something, that she wouldn't have, you know, absence makes the heart grows fonder type of situation. Like, oh shit, I remember you.
Well, you figure she was also in Happy Feet in a pretty prominent role. The sequel that didn't come out till way later.
Mm-hmm.
She could have had another, you know, a lot of it. I remember at the time she was focused on her appearance not being what it could be because of all the, you know, the drug and the anemia and everything. Her voice still carried her, and Happy Feet did so well that she could have had a voice acting career after she took the time off to have the kids.
That's fair.
But again, that's speculation because that's the nature of the show, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then we come to number 1.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
And again, you know, if Brittany Murphy is the female equivalent to Heath Ledger, our number 1 is the male equivalent to Marilyn Monroe.
Absolutely.
James Dean.
Yep.
I think everybody kind of knew this was coming
Yeah.
24 years old, died in a car accident. Now, people may sit here and they may wonder, like, why are we putting James Dean above Marilyn Monroe, Heath Ledger, Brittany Murphy, even Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
And for me, at the end of the day, what it all comes down to is not counting the 5 movies that he had that were uncredited roles for him. He only has 3 film credits.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, Giant. That's it. The man made 8 movies in his lifetime. 3 of them he actually got starring credit for.
Yep.
5 were uncredited.
Yep.
That is why he is our number 1.
Yeah. And to King Mike's comment about style, throw the picture up I chose. I realized as I was making the graphic. No, that is not Luke Perry as James Dean. That is James Dean.
Yeah.
It looks like a freaking publicity shot of Dylan McKay, but it's not. I swear to God, it's not. It's James Dean. The Eagles had it best. He was too fast to live. He was too young to die. I mean, that's what James Dean was, man. Rebel Without a Cause. There's a reason that lyric of that song by Kid Rock rings so true, because James Dean was the OG.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a little bit of a ha-ha there, but Dylan McKay would not have been what Dylan McKay was in the 90s without James Dean.
Nope.
You can tune into any episode of 90210 from 90 to about 94.
Yep.
And look at Luke Perry on that show, and it's like it's James Dean reincarnated.
Yeah. He only came out of that after Dylan had the big overdose in the car accident.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, Rebel Without a Cause could have been freaking Dylan's tagline.
Even his character in the Buffy movie was very James Dean.
Freaking leather jacket. Yeah, the whole thing. Anybody that their primary appearance was the slick back hair and the leather jacket can point at James Dean. Henry Winkler, who is the biggest geek in the history of Hollywood. Nope, he's the Fonz. He's the Fonz because James Dean. You catch Henry Winkler anywhere outside of Arthur Fonzarelli. Love Henry. He's a big old dork.
Yeah.
He just is. But because he's got the leather jacket on, he's cool. James Dean, baby.
The problem as far as Jack Perry goes is he's got that hair going for him.
Oh my God, right. Yeah, Jack's hair. Oh.
I will be 47 years old tomorrow. I wish I had Jack's fucking hair.
I wish to God Rob would have splashed him so hard his hair would have fallen out just to be that asshole.
But should he ever cut it?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Got to get the Luke Perry, the freaking Dylan McKay haircut.
Absolutely. I mean, if you take the hair off of him and you just solely focus on his face, you can see it in his face.
He is so Luke's boy. Like there is no mistake in that boy's lineage at all.
No.
There is no DNA test required for the former Jungle Boy. Whew.
And thank you, Ryan.
Yes. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
The sun will come out tomorrow. It's only a day away.
Yes. Well, it will, because the damn hurricane finally done passed through.
Man, these kids could have gone to school today. I'm just saying.
I freaking took a lift down to the shit. I could have walked to the doctor today. This is bullshit. Freaking got as if these kids aren't in school, like are out of school enough.
Right.
Oh, too much rain. Keep them inside. Now, granted, if the school is over by where I used to live and the freaking roads are like falling off its damn self, okay, yeah, don't send the school. Okay.
Thank you, Datilla.
But over here on this side and out where y'all are, that's bullshit.
Yeah, for real.
That's some Boo. That's B-E-W. Boo shit.
Yeah.
No. They wrong for that. Mother Nature ain't that big a crazy bitch.
Thank you, Kermit the Caldwell.
Oh my God. We got to clip that. Just right there. We got to clip that one just right there. After all, there's only one more sleep till Jay's day.
And I'm going to go ahead and bring up this one I had starred from King Mike. His top three were Heath Ledger, of course, we discussed.
Yes. Yeah.
Tupac, 25 years old. Now, see, the reason I didn't put Tupac on here is because I think of him more for his music than I do his movies.
Or he was mentioned this year, too. So,
yeah. I mean, he had some great movies. Juice was an epic one.
Oh, yeah.
Above the Rim was a classic as well.
Yep.
Poetic Justice, as you have mentioned there. Those three especially.
Yes.
You know, I mean, he had Gain Related and Gridlocked, which came out around the time of his death. I think they were posthumously released, but obviously filmed before his passing.
Right.
Those were so-so movies.
Yes.
I don't know if Tupac would have had the long-term success in acting like LL Cool J, Ice-T, Ice Cube, and even DMX had.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on that, but
yeah,
everyone's entitled to their opinion. Subjective, right, Jeff?
Yeah, and to be fair, Tupac was on our show about musicians earlier this year, so.
And then Cameron Boyce is one that forever is going to resonate with me. And I did contemplate putting him on here.
Yep.
He definitely is an honorable mention. If I had thrown him on here, I would have had to sacrifice Bruce Lee, and I don't feel like that would have been fair to Bruce.
No.
Because Cameron Boyce, unfortunately, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Cameron, Cameron's death resonates with me hard because he passed away after having a seizure. And I have had epilepsy my entire life. So it's something that really connected with me. But he was a niche star. He hadn't gotten that breakout yet. So while you could definitely say his best days were ahead of him.
Yes.
Much like Brandon Lee, he hadn't really gotten out of the box yet to where I don't think that many people had connected with him. Obviously, I'm wrong because Keen Mike has him here, but really, aside from Jesse, and I think he was on Bunked once or twice, correct me if I'm wrong, and like the Descendants franchise.
Yes.
What did he really have?
He didn't yet. That's the thing. That's a key word.
And again, you know, you can piggyback off of the fact that James Dean only had 3 movies released that he was star of. He was like the big star of those movies, though. They were his films.
Yes.
That came out. And yes, Mikey, we did mention Bruce Lee.
Well, no. What he's asking was the footage of his actual funeral was incorporated into another movie.
Oh, later. No, I didn't mention that because I did not know that.
Well, Stat Boy coming through in the clutch.
Yes, Stat Boy with the stats. So go ahead and throw it up there for those people that didn't see it in the comments.
Yes. See, I can appreciate Tatilla's comment about Bobby Driscoll.
Yes. Pepan.
Let me get there. I don't know if Bobby's career was going to go, again, same with comment earlier, beyond Disney. Like, I don't know if Bobby was going to really break out.
Yeah.
So, again, there were specific, like, were their best years ahead? Were their best years behind? Was there stuff on the horizon? Were they people that we could sit here and seriously wax proxy on like we've done for the last almost hour and a half? Which is what we figured,
I don't know if I could have had an in-depth presentation for Bobby Driscoll because aside from like Peter Pan, I can't really think of much for him. You know, I think he was on the Mickey Mouse Club as well.
Yes.
But again, aside from those couple of things, he's not someone I had a connection to like the other people we discussed today.
Yeah. The fact I'm having to look it up, his filmography says that he didn't connect deep enough. And then granted, we were both not even alive yet when he passed. Like, let's
like
just be
said,
fair.
And like Jeff said, that was one of the things that was part of the criteria, is that they had to be 40 and under.
Right.
Which Natalie Wood was the only one that didn't fit that, because finding 5 women that I could wax proxy on was difficult enough.
Yes.
So I threw her the bone there and included her. But they had to be 40 and under. They had to be people that connected to us through their filmography that we could sit here and discuss for a long time. Right. And then they had to have, were their best years still ahead of them, or had they already peaked and were starting to fall off? And yes, him doing Song of the South, while I acknowledge that movie, Roman Reigns style, his job does not.
I'm not allowed to say it out loud. Yeah, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, especially now that the attraction is being turned into Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Which is about what again? Yeah, anyway. I'm sorry, was that out loud? My bad. Go ahead. Okay. Just kidding.
Well, the movie in general is a telling of The Prince and the Frog, but they tend to want to glaze over the fact that Eudora, Tiana's mom, works for plantation owner Big Daddy in the South. So,
today's secret word is hypocrisy. Ah! Anyway,
so what do you guys think of our top 10? Let us know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over there next to Meacham. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. And let's engage. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that we're always asking you guys for in the comments. And we've still got some time as we begin to run through these shills, where a super chat will just make this stretch on till 5 o'clock.
That's it.
But even with all the shills that we've got here that we've got to press through, I think we can be out of here before 5, sir.
Okay. Here we go.
First and foremost, I think we've got to acknowledge everybody throughout the multiverse of media.
Yes.
Follow them all.
Yes. Follow us all.
Jeff Meacham Network. You've got Casa D18 Studios, Simple Man Brand, J. Hubert Studios, NoDQ.com, the Greg Cherry Brand, and of course, our good buddy Datilla, who's been participating in the chat room. Follow her at Rangers of Wrestling.
And we thank her for her participation on Saturday, because her musical inclinations definitely got us through up to upwards of $500, because that still boggles my goddamn mind.
And now let us begin the laundry list of stuff. So let's do like this, okay? Start with Stat Boy.
Okay.
And we'll just start alternating. We'll go one at a time.
Okay.
You do that. I'll do the next one. You do the next one. I'll do the next one, so on and so forth.
Sounds good to me. All right. So tomorrow at a ungodly hour, because, God forbid, produced by James, by the way.
Yes. Big shout out to James Hebert there.
Yes. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. out here. I'll already be at least 2 hours into Disney at that point. But Statboy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou. All the latest in the sports world, baseball, baseball's still going. Preseason football's still going. We've got hockey coming up. We've got golf running. Everything you want to talk about. And if there's a sport they haven't covered yet, message Mikey, message Dory. They'll cover it. They will by God, they will cover competitive badminton if you ask them to.
Right.
Damn it, it's there. It does exist, folks.
Yes, and to Datilla's comment, John Candy was over 40. Definitely had a connection with him, but he didn't fall within the criterias we were trying to set of the show.
Yes.
Corey Haim, I had zero connection to.
Yeah, and
so
John
that's why I didn't include him.
And John, unfortunately, even if he had been under 40, his health and his weight were just a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, his best days were definitely behind him, especially if you look at Wagons East.
Yeah. Like Cool Runnings, I remember was still good, but it wasn't John Candy great.
And
right?
It wasn't John that made it good.
Right.
It was the four guys that played
right.
the tobogganists.
Yes.
The bobsled team.
So then later on tomorrow, after Savoy Sports Bar has closed up for happy hour,
it will be my NXT, damn it, as we do a watch along across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media for NXT Heat Wave, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, celebrating my birthday. Of course, we welcome you guys to Super Chat for that. Not that we're not grateful for what came on Saturday. Let us not try and sound greedy, but we do welcome Super Chats to that tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, with your permission, Jeff, even though it is going across your channel, I would like to say that any Super Chats that do come tomorrow, please come exclusively to my channel since we are celebrating my birthday.
I'll tell you what, I'll even take a stand here. Okay, wait, I'll go off camera. Even if they come into my side, I will filter it your way as best I can within my mathematical knowledge. So
Datilla throwing out all the what ifs and what abouts. Chris Farley, aside from SNL, I didn't really see that much of his work.
And to be honest, everything outside SNL was the same movie over and over again. Like I love Chris,
and most of it was David Spade too, and I'm not a David Spade fan.
I was gonna say him making me be able to tolerate David Spade will be Chris's legacy for me, because David Spade outside of Chris Farley just is hard to watch and listen to.
Honestly, I feel like Chris Farley tried too hard to be John Belushi.
Yes, agreed. And I love
that's not trying to be said with ill intent or any kind of disrespect.
Yeah.
But once Farley joined SNL, I think a light bulb went on in Lorne Michaels' head and was like, here's our new Belushi.
Yeah.
And he tried too hard to be Belushi and ended up meeting a very similar fate to Belushi.
I was going to say, he was a new Belushi in the wrongest way possible.
Yeah.
Love Chris. But
so come Wednesday, Jeff, what do we have?
Well, I will not be. I told Aaron I would do this. So let me go and take it down real quick. I was originally asked by Aaron to put Talk Wrestling in the Wednesday night time slot after Dynamite, and I forgot, and that's my bad. So we will have Talk Wrestling later in the week. We'll talk more about that later. But before Dynamite goes on, the last Dynamite before All In, our little Dynamite pre-show, if you will, on the Multiverse of Media, the Greg Cherry Show, featuring Greg Cherry and Matty Laws, because I will again not be there because I've got so much going on this week, unfortunately. But check it out, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, on the Greg Cherry brand, on the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Multiverse of Media. So check it out on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, 4 Pacific.
Yes, and then Thursday, we have another installment of Throwback Thursday across the Casa D18 Studios channel.
Yes.
All of your favorites are still there for now. Got Double Down with Double A. We've got Stat Boy Rants. We've got Renegade Wrestling, Dads on Wrestling, No DQ and AV. We've got Talk Wrestling, and that's just the first block that goes up.
Oh, yes.
Talk Wrestling this week on Throwback Thursday will be Jeff's interview with Terry Runnels.
Ooh, cool. God, I haven't listened to that one in a while.
And then, of course, we've got classic episodes of the ATW View from Noah Foster's channel. We've got classic episodes of the Indie Force podcast from the Jay Hebert Studios. We've got Open Mic Night, and we've also got a classic No DQ review on deck for Throwback Thursday.
If I may, go ahead and do this one too, because that way the plugs will balance out. You'll see, I promise.
Go.
Well, no, I was
you want me to do this one too? Okay,
yes,
that's interesting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then at midnight Thursday, this will go live for the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel as we continue our exclusive August content Remember, it is only $5 a month to join the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel, where you get all of my wrestling content. I've had 3 SummerSlam reviews go up this month, and I've got 2 episodes that'll be devoted to the Shield.
You gotta love
First one going up this Thursday, and then the following week will be the last episode of the Shield.
Yes. Later on Thursday, so at let me think for a second. 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific. Part of JJ's birthday gift is finally the Renegade will come to Jack of all trades, ladies and gentlemen, as he joins Maddie Laws. Oh, I forgot the girl's name. Greg didn't kill me. And reigning champion Sadia Nagi as they challenge for the Jack of all trades championship, hosted, of course, by the Pensen himself, Greg Cherry, because damn it, the show has been on since January, we all need Greg Cherry in our lives for at least one more day a week. By God.
And forgive me for being not so humble here, but there will be a new champion.
It's his birthday, by God, and he's gonna bring all the birthday mojo to it. Damn it all. Now, granted, it's also somebody else important in his life's birthday, so he's gonna have that extra motivation behind him because can't lose in front of your woman on her birthday. That's just bad juju right there. That's bad juju.
I believe that I will be the new champion a lot more than I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, no, you're in trouble now. Noah sees this. You and Attila. Attila's still here.
I know she's here. That's why I said it.
You're in trouble. All right, well.
That's why I said it.
All right.
But yeah,
next part where you get more trouble.
I haven't been on Jack of all trades yet, but the few episodes that I watched last year when I was trying to petition to be on it, every episode I watched, I would have dethroned the champion with my answer.
Yep, that's how it goes when you watch it home.
So I have a strong feeling that the Roman Reigns of Jack of all trades will get dethroned tomorrow, and there will be a new person on the throne. There will be a new ruler of the kingdom for Jack of all trades.
There you go. And then still on Thursday.
Thursday is a busy day for us, for real.
Go for it, dude. It's your turn.
No, I was gonna say you do these next couple because they're more your guys' thing anyway.
That's fair because I will be joining, God help me, the NoDQ.com predictions for Sunday's All In. That'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, and then I hope we only go less than 2 hours because I don't want to try to start my shit late. I'm already started on a different day as it is. Talk Wrestling, the flagship, if you will, the mothership, baby. Along with the throwback episode earlier in the day with Terry Runnels, a brand new episode of Talk Wrestling will be on this Thursday at 10 o'clock Eastern.
And while Jeff will be on the No DQ version of All In Predictions, you'll be able to find me on Friday on Simply Predicting as we discuss All In London live from Wembley Stadium. Once again, the biggest show in wrestling history where a member of the No DQ review panel didn't think that Punk versus Omega was worthy of throwing it on there because it would have been hot-shotting it and rushing things. But, I digress.
I just love that, and Bischoff pointed this out.
And I, not to talk over you, but just on this real quick, I got to say I'm looking forward to do this because I don't usually join Noah for his AEW prediction shows. I usually stick to my WWE NXT pool because that's what I know the best.
Yes.
But this is a huge event.
It really is.
It's a spectacle. I feel like I needed to be there.
Yes.
Again, not to my own horn, but kind of like how you sometimes go to other channels to lend your name. I kind of feel like my presence on Simply Predicting, especially since it's going across both of our channels, will kind of help boost.
I agree
a little bit. I mean, hell, Simply Predicting for whatever it was a couple of weeks ago was like 1,500 views last time I checked, combined between mine and Noah's channel. So
yeah,
and Attila, I don't know if Noah has messaged you, but you are more than welcome to join us for All In Predictions if you would like.
Yes. So what I was going to say before we go into the next plug,
and I see Attila's question here too.
I mean, go for it. You want to answer that first? Go for it.
Honestly, it's mainly just because I don't follow Impact that much.
Right. Yeah.
When it comes right down to it.
Yeah.
the little bit I've seen of his gimmick, much like I said, that, and maybe I'll lose some points with you here because this is going to sound like I'm putting down our Power Rangers. But when I first saw Power Rangers, I was old enough that I remembered when it was called Voltron in the 80s. I see Joe Hendry, and I remember when it was Positively Page. It's the same shtick.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's fair.
The only difference is that Hendry actually does his own music and makes these parody videos to go with it. And I saw one of his parody videos for a show that he did on an indie circuit or whatever. I was laughing my ass off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If that was the Joe Hendry that I saw on a regular basis,
yes,
I'd be down.
Yes.
I'd be down. But much like Raquel Rodriguez, who I don't buy this baby face,
right.
I don't buy Joe Hendry as this baby face.
That's fair.
I feel like there's that switch that's just waiting to click heel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just really kind of throw that whole, MJF, I'm better than you and you know it.
Right.
CM Punk, I'm straight edge, which means that I'm better than you. Like, I'm waiting for Joe Hendry to have this. This is why you have to believe in me. This is why, type of mentality. I feel it's there. And for whatever reason, they haven't clicked it.
Right.
That is why I don't believe in Joe Hendry.
Yes.
And yeah, that hits right in the chest. But you know what, Datilla? I'm right. So,
yeah.
All right, back to the shills.
So before I move on to my next one, is Simply Predicting for Emergence going to be on Saturday? Is that why it is where it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Very good. Okay. So I was going to say about the graphics for All In. Bischoff pointed this out this morning on 83 Weeks. Neither one of these graphics has CM Punk. And Bischoff, of course, was quick to point that, wait. And then he actually righted his thing. He said, I'm glad that Tony took the advice of a lot of people and didn't promote matches till very, very near showtime. They sold damn near all of these 80,000 tickets, which has surpassed WrestleMania 3, if you really go by real numbers, has surpassed WrestleMania 32, if you go by real numbers, on the brand of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And that is to be applauded. That's too cool for school.
Absolutely. And for all the AEW trolls out there that are trying to say that, what WrestleMania for next year has sold in the 24 hours after the tickets went on sale.
Right.
It's two completely different things.
Yes, I agree.
WWE has got 40 plus years of marketing of this event to where it's going to sell that.
Yes. I agree.
AEW is less than 5 years in and is still very much an untested commodity.
Exactly. And yes, I am changing the background because we're not really just doing this topic anymore.
I mean, I'm not a big sports guy. Everybody knows that.
Right.
But you could have, and if they watch this, I know I'm going to catch hell. But football, the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns have notoriously been two of the shittiest teams in years.
Accurate.
The minute Super Bowl tickets go on sale, the tickets are going to sell out, and you could end up with a Lions versus Browns Super Bowl.
There you go. It's sold on the brand
and
name.
It's still going to sell.
Because it is what it is. Yep.
That's the difference between what AEW has done and what WWE has done with WrestleMania.
Yep.
And those 90,000 seats are over 2 days.
Yeah.
So if we want to be technical, let's just assume everybody bought a 2-day ticket. They've only sold 45,000 tickets.
Yep, exactly.
Shut the fuck up. Exactly. They haven't accomplished anything.
Nope.
They will sell it out for both nights.
Absolutely.
They will get close to 200,000 seats sold because I don't know what the capacity is for the stadium they're running.
No, I don't.
But I'm going to assume it's going to be bigger than what AEW has done for All In. But still, they're not there yet.
Yeah.
And you're going off of 2 days worth of tickets, not one.
And
a
you're
tried and true and tested brand.
Yes.
Not what is still very much a mom and pop up and comer brand.
And you're also not factoring in the fact that WrestleMania's always got this gigantic stage. I know SoFi fits damn near 100,000 people, but over 2 days at a sellout, we just passed 161,000. So, figure.
Which, again, if you want to split that up, 80,000 per day, that's about on par with what TK did.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But WWE is Coke. It's Pepsi. AEW is Shasta. It's Flaco.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's not the name brand.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just wanted to again congratulate AEW for that particular sale and to applaud Eric Bischoff for not completely going into a degenerate rant about it not being on CM Punk. But then, of course, he decided that the surprise should be Bill Goldberg destroying CM Punk because, whatever. It's like, okay, so you bring back Goldberg and destroying Punk, Bischoff. So you lost me completely, dude. That's it. Forget it. Like, no more praise for Eric after that today.
All right. So why is it that we had to tape this episode that was going to air on Friday?
Well,
we ended up going live today.
It's funny you mentioned
shenanigans.
Because Friday, in addition to Meech's Musings being on the road, which I don't have a graphic for because I forgot, I'll be honest. This is
why it'll be on the road.
I will be on the way along with our buddy Kalea to go see the Garcia twins, the Nikki and Bree show, and the freaking graphics in the way because I'm trying to be a shell from my own damn self instead.
Better known as the Bellas.
I got it. There we go. Nikki and Bree show will be recorded and live at the Gila River Resorts and Casinos in, I think it's Downer Pass is the name of the city, Arizona. It's way more inland than Phoenix. I remember that. We were driving for a while. That'll be Friday night at 8:00, and one way or the other, whatever footage I end up getting, it'll be shown first and foremost on open mic night Saturday night.
There you go. And what kind of footage are you trying to get, Meecham? Based off of the super chats that we obtained on Saturday, what kind of history could be made ahead of All In?
Well, I'll tell you, JJ, if things go the way I want them to go, I'll be shaking hands with the former EVP of Talent Relations and the on-screen general manager Raw and SmackDown, Mr. John Laurinaitis. Oh, he's got such a great smile, Yeah, I'm gonna try to make peace.
Pray to God he doesn't hit you with the Ace Crusher.
I'll piss on him with that shit. No, fuck if you invented it or not. It's Stone Cold Stunner, by God. Let's okay. Johnny Ace, Mrs. Baba's favorite wrestler, Miss Johnny Ace, the non-Shane Douglas dynamic dude, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, I'm good. Anyway,
Johnny Ace, the brother that didn't get to be a Road Warrior.
Yeah. The only reason he's not the first up Vince McMahon's ass is because freaking Patterson and Briscoe did it on screen for real for so long. Anyway, I digress. Yes, I have been encouraged by, I'm not getting into, I'll just point and whistle, to make peace. Or at the very least, have some sort of interaction be recorded for posterity.
I'm not trying to get you to make peace.
I know.
If anything, I'm getting you to instigate because the point that I have made, and we know that people in that company watch us. So if anybody wants to see this and get the little memo out to Johnny Ass Larry Gitis beforehand, just remind him that he is going to look like an ass either way.
Well, but here's
either he shakes Jeff's hand and becomes the biggest hypocrite in the WWE corporate locker room, past, present, or future.
Together forever.
Or he disrespects Jeff and shows his true colors as the royal ass that we've always called him.
Yes.
Either way, it's recorded on film.
That's fair.
Either way, it's going to be broadcast.
Yeah. I will say
it's going to be on open mic night. It'll probably be on the No DQ review. It'll be on the watch-alongs. It'll be all over. That's the new PLE. We've got all in, we've had all out. Now this is all over. It'll be all over the internet.
And it will last how long?
Either way, forever.
There you go.
Like I will legitimately loop a 24-hour video and upload it to YouTube just so that we can have that go. You'll have one screen showing your Mickey Mouse collection.
Wow.
The other screen showing you and John Laurinaitis.
Wow. That is no pressure though, right?
Pressure's all on him.
No. Here's
it really is. The joke has always been the puck is in your zone. It really is.
No, it is.
How are you going to handle it, Laurinaitis?
Yeah, here's where I think WWE's not going to give a shit at this point. Okay, they fired his ass last year, flat out released him because of all the bullshit that they're throwing against Vince. Ace took the bullet, and you know what? If he did it to protect the old man, good for him.
He did it for McMahon.
That's right.
He did it for people power.
People power.
But anyways, we digress. Let's get back to the shows because we still got a bunch of these to go, and we still got
like 8 minutes,
15 minutes before Raw. So
yeah, all right. So
in it, beginning on Saturday, in the members only section of the Costa D18 Studios channel, we will have another exclusive video drop as Noah and I called the action.
Yes.
For SummerSlam 04, the match that actually occurred, despite what WWE wants us to believe, between Chris Benoit and Randy Orton. No WWE. Randy Orton did not walk to the Air Canada Center in Toronto, Canada, in those god-awful peach tights, find the belt in the middle of the ring, pick it up, climb the turnbuckles, and begin posing with it. That is not what happened. There was a 20-plus minute match that is awesome that Noah and I called.
And I was in the green room for part of it before I lost internet. Those damn tights were peach as fuck. Oh my God.
Like I said to Noah, I don't remember them being that peach in the moment. I'm wondering if everything is because of it being HD now, if maybe it made the tights pop a little bit more than they did when we first watched it. I mean, I'd almost have to go back to my DVD and compare it to what's on the network.
Yeah.
But I don't remember them popping that bright, but holy
shit.
Crap.
Yeah. I will say the first Randy Orton figure I ever got, I don't know if I bought it myself or it was given to me or whatever it was that outfit.
I owned that one too. It
peach ass tights, man.
It wasn't the first one I owned because I had some of the scraggly combed down hair like the first couple of Orton figures.
Right? Oh.
But I did have that one too. In addition, on Saturday to content going on the members only section, the simple man with the simple brand will be doing Simply Predicting of Impact Wrestling Emergence beginning at 2:00 Pacific, 5:00 Eastern.
And then there's more.
Yes, of course, he's doing that early because, go ahead, Jeff.
The 75th anniversary of the NWA. Did we ever think that this brand would last that long after all the turmoil it went through in the 90s and early 2000s? My goodness.
Yeah, and we're not talking about Eazy-E, MC Ren, DJ Yella, Ice Cube, and Dr. Dre. We're not talking about the Arabian Prince, the DOC. We're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance, people. There is a different NWA.
Oh, definitely did. Yeah, the original, if we're being honest.
Yes.
National Wrestling Alliance, 75th anniversary. Night 1 we're covering. And because night 2 is going to be a little busy.
And then immediately following night 1 will be the Saturday night shenanigans that are open mic night.
Yes.
No, it will not be a karaoke extravaganza again.
No.
We do have some topics that we are working on. I'm currently beginning to formulate the official graphic for that episode.
Yes.
We will be discussing the Sunny thing that was unable to get into last week because of karaoke. So that is definitely on the docket.
Yes.
as well as whatever else may come up that is newsworthy during the week.
Yes.
That'll get filtered in there.
Yes.
And then
Sunday. Yeah, yes.
Kicking off at 8 a.m.
Oh
Pacific,
my God.
11 a.m. Eastern time.
But before you get too far into the show, let me just say.
Well, I was going to let you take over the show,
okay.
but
well,
I was just doing
can,
time because there's no time on there. So
before I do, thank you for calling me into work. That's a long ass day of wrestling. So thank you, Mr. DeMow. Thank you, Mr. DeMow. It's not in here, so I don't have to worry about it right now. Anyway, All In, the biggest wrestling show in history, at least until WrestleMania 40.
But not big enough to house Omega versus Punk.
Yeah, because whatever. Freaking Mo Camera. Anyway,
I wasn't even going to give him the press of saying his name.
I
was just going to say, if anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, watch the review from last night.
He's a bigger Yats on camera than he is in the chat rooms. Anyway, I said what I said. I don't give a shit anymore. All In will be started. Our coverage will be at 8 o'clock. The 0 hours at 9 o'clock. The show goes live on pay-per-view at 10 a.m. Pacific because the Brits and AEW hate our guts. Bet if we were up all day freaking yesterday and the day before dealing with a damn hurricane, now we got to be up early to watch wrestling.
They may hate our guts, but it's not as bad as a New Japan show.
Accurate. Without a doubt. Without question, Jay.
100%.
That's right. We will see that man at this show, by God. Anyway.
And then immediately following All In.
Yes.
On a separate stream.
Yes.
Will be a special happy hour edition of Open Mic Night. And this one we do have some topics for because these are just conversational pieces. Little tidbits that I've picked up over the couple of weeks that I think are just, the type of thing that you'd sit around with your buddies at the bar or at a brunch and be like, hey, do you know about this? Without getting neck deep, balls deep into serious topics. That's what this Open Mic Night is for. This is just for some fun conversation. We're going to be discussing John Laurinaitis. We're going to be discussing Karrion Kross. We're going to be discussing the resurgence of Maven Huffman. Who would you put on your WCW Mount Rushmore? Who are 3 current active wrestlers in any promotion that would have fit in the original 95 to 99 era of ECW?
Yes.
All of these things will be discussed on a special happy hour edition of Open Mic Night. And I mean, Dattila, that's up to you because as Alan Jackson once said, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I mean, you figure we're going to be going at 2 p.m. Pacific. That's 5 o'clock Eastern.
There you go.
So if you wish to be on the dais and participate in that happy hour over Mic Night and you want to have a beer, a wine cooler, a shot, whatever you drink handy, that's all you.
You can go ahead, little day drinking. Anyway, I digress.
And then we have business as normal the following week.
Well, no. One more watch along Sunday night.
Oh, yes.
Emergence from Impact Wrestling. Let's not downplay Impact Wrestling now.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
yes.
Impact Wrestling freaking pulling an AEW doing a show 1 week later. We just had Multiverse United yesterday.
Yeah.
And here 1 week later, we have Emergence.
Yes.
Much like we're going to have All In. And then 1 week later, we're going to have All Out.
Yes.
But yeah, we're covering the Emergence watch along. Noah and James on the call.
Yes.
So eloquently. They're going to be calling all of the action this weekend.
Yes,
I believe are. You're calling NWA 75, are you not, with Noah? I believe that was the original plan, that we were only going to tag James in for the Natalia Markova Camille match, but you were supposed to be on commentary with Noah for the rest of the show.
I will try to find my NWA shirt, but I think that's the case. Yes.
And that depends. Otherwise, Sunday is going to be all Noah and James, baby.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Saturday's show, the NWA, will be the day after the Garcia Twins event, which means I'm going to be like I was this morning when we were going to originally tape, freaking dragging my ass and sloshing my feet because, oh my God, I'm going to be – whether I get to see Ace or not, I'm going to be tired as hell, but loving every bit of it because driving back from Arizona, seeing the girls. So it'll be fun. And then next weekend, because, we just never going to stop. Back-to-back days again with our coverage of Payback and All Out because, again, Tony Khan just can't sit still for a week.
And then the next time you'll see us as the Dads,
yes,
will be on September 8th when we discuss the top 10 intercontinental champions of all time.
That's going to be a big day across my side of the multiverse. Talking about one of the greatest championships in wrestling history, arguably one of my favorites.
Some people would say a title that is more prestigious than the WWE Championship itself.
Hard to argue at times throughout history, without a doubt. That's also my parents' multiple year anniversary. I'm not going to throw them under the bus. But as a wedding anniversary, our good friends got married on my parents' 12th anniversary. So that's their anniversary as well. And a new friend of mine, that's her daughter's birthday. So it's a big day around here. So it'll be cool to talk about your college championship and who we think are the greatest champions of all time. Because as we know, in September 1979, Pat Patterson went through a rigorous tournament in Rio de Janeiro as North American champion and became the South American champion to become the Intercontinental champion. Much in the same vein as Buddy Rogers went through a rigorous tournament in Rio to become the WWF champion. By God, Pat Patterson earns his titles.
Much in the same way that Randy Orton walked to the ring at the Air Canada Center in those god-awful peach tights, found the championship, and became World Heavyweight Champion. Revisionist history, damn
That's
it.
Right.
That's
right.
The common thread.
What's the term? Apocrypha. I forget. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, folks. We all know the real story, but Pat was a great Intercontinental champion. So we'll see how it goes. Randy Orton and it, or Chris Benoit, both great Intercontinental champions for their time. So we shall see where we go.
So we thank you guys for tuning in and joining us for this 2+ hours. We are going to let you go so that you can enjoy the East Coast feed of Raw coming up here in a couple of moments. Once again, for the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us this evening, and we will see you guys next time.